Not That Kind of Christian here, continuing with The Sash My Father Wore by Anthony E.C. Linford. This is chapter 5, entitled My Demon. I would warn people that it has within this chapter mature content, and I would suggest people over the age of 18 only should listen. But that is just a suggestion. So, reading from chapter 5, The Demon. Life continued apace after Noel had returned to the mission field. I hadn't forgotten about that thin blue aerogram that would later float leaf-like down to our Bless This House doormat before my 14th birthday. Rather, I want now to tell you about the demons I was battling in my 14th year. The year began with me studying for my certificate of secondary education. I would sit at age 16. These demons were they figures with such soft and tempting countenances, would often enter my thoughts when I was thinking about my friend Amanda, her hair, her clothes, and her smile. I was alone in my single bedroom and wanted to fill my mind not with schoolwork, of course, rather her sparkles and spangles instead of maths plus physics. At school, all the boys were becoming obsessed with girls, how they functioned, and especially what they called their tits and their fannies. At first I had no idea what they were talking about, until one loud, sweaty boy pinned me up against a wall, holding me by the collar of my grey school shirt, and said, "They're breasts and vaginas, you little puff." He released me, and as my black school-shod feet hit the compacted earth behind the bike sheds, I felt a thud travel up as far as my chin. That was the same night the demon entered me. Although their entry was infinitely soft, beautiful, breathless, and I felt my hips waving or writhing in a way they had never done before. I'd come to bed early, as Dad said he was going to watch a special edition of the BBC News and Current Affairs programme Panorama, dealing with the evils of Red China. Atheistic, Jesus-hating international communists and the threat that they posed to people in the free Christian world. He said that not only God-fearing Americans in their righteous might would protect us from these evil people. He said under communism, Christianity would be banned, churches would be closed, and those of us who confess Jesus as Lord would be put to a horrible death. I'm still uncertain if it was in a dream. Ishtar, as she softly introduced herself, entered my soul, my essence, my mind, and the movements in my hips. I couldn't be sure if I was sleeping, dropping off that shelf into darkness, sensations, vistas, views, the illogical that made total sense, as it only can in dreams. To this day, I don't know what I saw, felt, heard, understood, and above all, wanted to be true in this dream. Was it the fulfillment of a wish, a longing, or even something evil that I had known, that I knew Pastor Frank would say it was? As sure as Jesus Christ died on the cross to save me from my manifold sins and wickedness, so I would suffer hell and eternal conscious punishment just for being me. Ishtar was stunning. She was radiant, somehow alive, active and sensuous as I yearned to be. As I felt when I put on Amanda's makeup, as I felt when she let me dance in her heels and wear a feather boa, wrapping it around my hips, pouting my rich red lips in kisses, looking like I was a fashion glamour model when flashbulbs popped and all eyes were fixed on me. Ishtar. I breathed her name in a sigh. So it was she danced with me in the sparkling light, powerful, strong, and above all fertile. Although I had only a rudimentary understanding of sperm, ova, vaginas, penis, and even penetration, I wanted to be Ishtar. I wanted life and I wanted to dance. Yet Ishtar frightened me too. In the starlight I saw she also held some implements with which to wage war, and I thought of all those godless communists Dad had insisted wanted to kill us Christians in the next war. Was the beautiful, seductive, enveloping, enchanting Ishtar a communist out to kill me, a Bible-believing Christian? All at once I was awake and Ishtar was gone. I was sweating and breathless. I lay there, confused, guilty of a monstrous sin I was meant to be trying to stop. I felt like hell was drawing me directly into its burning red maw. Even in the cold silence of the still room, my arms outside the bedclothes and my fingers clutching the candlewick bedspread, my heart raced inside my chest. After what my father would, afraid of what my father would think, I pushed the thoughts of Ishtar and the guilt to the back of my mind. There could be no doubt. Pastor Frank had once warned us not to open the door to demons. Ishtar was a painted demon from the Mesopotamian domain of darkness, and I had taken them into my frail male body, and they were changing me, robbing me of my very salvation. Ishtar was robbing me of my manly strength, my vigour, my toughness, my authority, and I knew I had to find a way to resist her tempting allure. I got out of bed, I got down on my knees, and prayed for strength to resist the temptations that had plagued my dreams. Later that same year, Dad was promoted by universal shafting. He went from accounts clerk to accounts office manager before I turned 14. On the day he got the letter congratulating him on this new position, he came home, all excited, with his face beaming. Mum was standing at the Hoover twin tub, transferring steaming washing into the integral spin dryer, when he burst in through the back door, grabbed her round a tiny waist, lifted her off her feet. She dropped a steaming pile of white sheets back into the tub, together with the wooden tongs. Her face lit up, her yellow marigold gloves spreading white soap suds all over Dad's overcoat. And we'll leave the first part of chapter 5, My Demon, there. Once again, copyright Anthony E.C. Linford, Great Yarmouth, January 2024.